Hello, hello, beautiful people. I hope you guys are doing amazing today. I actually believe I am live. I'm going live via Zoom, so it doesn't really show me if I'm legit live or not, but I believe I am. So for those of you who are joining in, welcome. I actually have a few things I want to talk about as it relates to um, how to locate your ideal client or how to locate your dream client. This is a very, very crucial question that many coaches are asking, especially those of you who are just starting off, really trying to determine how to go about getting those people. So I'm in the process of putting something up here so that you guys can see it. Let's see. Excuse me for my technical difficulty. Real quick, let's share my screen. All right. All right. So overall, when it comes to really getting those clients that you need, there's three important steps that you have to follow, right? Um, Very important steps at that, actually, to really generate that level of income, drive that level of income, really put that level of message in terms of what you're offering, the whole service package together so that you can really get those people to buy into what you have. Um, there's a few questions that are going around about how to build clients, how to find them, where to find them, all of those things. And I'm going to kind of break it down to you just a little bit in terms of three important things. Okay. I show you here. These three important things are the type of client or your niche, um, the research associated, and a clear message. Now, I'm going to share with you something that is very um, cool, right? In terms of understanding this a little bit better from more of a not so broad perspective. I like to think in terms of how to attract clients and how to build clients and where to find clients. I think of it similar to that of what a fisherman would do. And I would say that picture this, you are a fisherman, or if you know fishermen, this is what they usually do. They actually do if they're avid fishermen at that, they know the waters that they're going to. They know the particular fish that they want to get. So whether if they want tilapia, or if they want salmon, or if they want trout, or if they want tuna, they know where to get them. So they look through ponds, they look through creeks, they look through oceans, all types of different areas to find the fish. Another thing is they have rods, right? They go out, they have a rod. And I would always consider fisherman the person that actually has the strategy. The fisherman has the entire strategy, and now they have a package to go along with it. And so their package includes their rod. It includes the actual the line, right? It includes the other aspect of the actual bait. So they have all these things. They have the complete package for their um, for their hunt, if you will. Their hunt is to gain, is to attract, is to hook, and really catch their fish, what they are out there to do. And as it relates to building your brand, as it relates to engaging more people for what you offer, it's important to know the piece in terms of you have this whole package. You have, the service that you provide. You have the details within the service that will help to build some level of transformation for someone. They literally it's like a transformative service that you provide. You're taking someone from the bottom to the top. You're taking someone from the valley to to the mountaintop. And in this case, you have this all together. Like you literally have it. You have a storyline associated with it to help people with this whole piece, but your finding it hard or finding it challenging to get those people hooked to what you're doing. Okay. And so this challenge is because you have to put into place a real system in terms of knowing exactly who you want to work with. Okay. And when I say knowing exactly who you want to work with, that is understanding who that type of client is, or that specific niche that you are serving. Okay. So the specific niche is the type of specific client. Like a number of people are like, well, I will do this. I work with entrepreneurs. I work with other coaches. I work with people who feel depressed or things of that nature, because you might be a life coach or something along those lines. But you have to be specific in terms of that type of person. I'm talking about as specific as possible as it relates to knowing who that person is, like knowing them like the back of your hand. I always like to tell people that you at one point in time were your dream client, because you had to go through a process. You had to go through some situation to take you from the valley to the mountaintop, to take you from, so that you understood the different pieces associated with how to really build some level of success within yourself or within your business and things of that nature. So you at one point in time were your target client. And with that, you can think in terms of, let me create something that is specific to what I went through. Let me create something, because if I went through this, I know that there are other people that are going through this exact same thing. So I want to create something specific to them. All right. So you have this whole package, and you want this whole package to fit into that type of client's world. Okay. So you have built it, you have set it up, you know the situation, you know the struggles, you know the pain points and all those things. And now you're working specifically for this group of people. It's not that you are going out here and talking to every last person. That's not what you're doing. And when I say you're not going out here talking to every last person, I think go back into thinking of a fisherman. When a fisherman wants to fish, they are not really trying to catch every fish out there. They're specifically looking for, if they want trout that day, they want trout. So they're going to go where the trout are. They're going to go, if they want salmon, they're going to go where the salmon are. They're not going to go to a little old creek in somebody's backyard to catch salmon, when the only fish there are goldfish. So you want to think in terms of that particular type of client that you are trying to attract. Be as specific as possible. If you go to a river, there's a bunch of everything in there. But if you can go to one specific place where you can find that one particular type of client, that's where you want to be. All right. So on this next step is, well, I know what type of client I want, right? I know what type of struggles that they may go through. I know from the valley to the mountaintops type thing, how it's going to be transformative for this particular type of person or this particular group of people. But where am I specifically going to go? All right. Research is important. In every strategy that you create, every strategy that you have some level of research. It's very, very important that you research the area that you're trying to attract this group of people. Similar to the fisherman, I mentioned how the fisherman is not going to go to the creek. It may not necessarily go to the river if he's trying to look for, or if she is trying to look for one particular type of fish. This particular fisherman has done his or her research in terms of looking at, where do I know these fish are? Where am I going to find these particular fish? Is it going to be, if I'm looking for trout, I'm probably not going to somebody's backyard because they don't have the fish over for me. If I'm looking for trout, I have to do my research. I actually just recently did this because I actually tried to take my dad out for tried to take my dad fishing for Father's Day and realized that he really wasn't the fisher and I was. So in the meantime, I was looking up different areas where we could fish. And I was looking through like all the places here in Cincinnati that have some level of, have a pond, or not necessarily a pond, but there's a body of water, okay? And it's known for fishing. So I'm looking and I see like the different lists. Like you can go to this particular location, this particular lake, and they have these types of fish here. And so some of them, I'm like, I don't like catfish. So I was like, I don't want to go where I'm like, could potentially catch catfish. I'm going to go somewhere where I know that I might like the fish. If I saw something that said I saw something that said trout, and I was like, yo, I'm on that one. I'm game for that. Like if I happen to catch it, I'm not really the best fisher, by the way, but if I happen to catch the fish, I would love to catch trout and be able to cook it. All right. So I literally did research. I had to see where these people were. The same situation with building your level of clients or locating your level of clients, you have to see where these people are. If you know where you hang out, remember, if you were your ideal client, where were you hanging out? Look at those locations. See if you can find those people there. And when you see if you can find those people there, you'll see some commonality. Like you might say, for instance, if it's on social media, whether it's on Instagram, or your client could be on LinkedIn, or your client could also be on Facebook, or your client could be on all three of those platforms. Your client could be on YouTube. Wherever that particular person or those particular groups of people are, that's where you need to make sure that you're researching. And you can find that. You can find that by how people converse on social, what people do. If you have specific titles of people that you want to work with, if, say, for instance, if you do want to work with people who are in a specific industry, like coaching industry. So if you want to focus in on specific life coaches, then you'll find all the life coaches. You can look that up on LinkedIn. You could find that on Instagram. You could find that on Facebook. Those are areas in which you can start by that way. So that's how you can go about locating different levels of clients for what you do, right? It's the same thing, the same rule applies to outside of social media too, because especially like when COVID is completely over, when this pandemic is completely over, and before pandemic even, going to networking events that's specific to different types of groups, because they have specific groups for networking that you could be a part of. And even in the virtual space, they have a number of networking events that you can even look up on Eventbrite to see, something that is specific to you. So if you want to work with specific types of entrepreneurs, if it's fresh people that are fresh in the game in terms of entrepreneurship and need help in terms of, really understanding what the brand is, go to networking events specific to new entrepreneurs. Those are aspiring entrepreneurs, those types of people. So that is your level of providing some level of research within that. Okay. All right. So the next thing is, when you go about providing this level of research. So for instance, you have your rod, you have your line that goes into the rod. And then at the very end of the line, you have some bait. You have a hook, you have some bait. All right. Now, the bait usually hangs off of the hook, all right? So with the bait hanging off of the hook, your bait, you can consider your bait your message, your clear message. And this is something that is consistent as well. You're always going to be able to tell that story of what you do, always be able to share with people different ways in which you do it. And that's one areas in which you can start providing value to people as well. You can provide the value in terms of how you can go about setting these things up, right? So providing that value helps you to continue to build that clear message. So you're providing maybe tips on how to make that on how to go from point A to point B, from the valley to the mountain. You're providing insight in terms of why you do what you do. You're providing testimonial associated with that. And sometimes testimonial isn't even like the major thing that you have to provide, but you're providing those things so that people can continue to see it, and it's consistent. It's very clear, and they will eventually want to hook onto it. Right now, you're casting this rod, you're casting this line out in the right location, though. You're not putting it in where everybody and everything is, because it's going to be hard for you to really, really maximize an area. So you have to be specific by doing that research to get to that specific group of people and casting a message that they would want to hear. All right. A message that speaks to them, a message that speaks their language. Always a message that speaks their language. So you want to build that clear level of messaging. You want to build that clear understanding to continue to drive that level of bait. All right. So now, not bait, but hook. So you have this bait. And one thing about, even though you have the bait, the fish will see it. I mean, if you go back up here and you see like different types of bait, like all types of bait, it can be very colorful in how it's presented to the fish. It can be very colorful in the message of what is offered. It can be very, very enticing. And sometimes they try to get it, but they nibble a little bit, but they don't nibble enough to actually get hooked in. And that oftentimes happens with many of people that are looking at some of the things that you're pushing already, right? I'm a strong believer that many times people don't just buy in right off the bat. I know for sure I don't always just buy in right off the bat. I kind of do a little research, kind of look at the person. I look at, what the offering is. I kind of assess, okay, what makes it different than this, and what makes it different from that? What's so unique about this that I feel like I need to be a part of it? So, and that's the same thing with people like all types of people. Your particular type of client could be doing the same thing, going through these steps, trying to figure out, do I really want to work with her? Do I really want to work and to see how I can maximize? Is that something that I really should follow? So they're going to be doing this, and they might be watching you for a day. They might be watching you for a week. They may be watching you for months, sometimes years. One coach that I actually worked with a year ago, I had actually been following her for 3 years before I started working with her. And the reason why I didn't jump on right off the bat is, for one, I didn't necessarily know I needed her. But at the same time, I also was able to see her, learn her more, because I was in her email system. So she was constantly emailing me information. And then I joined one of her Facebook groups, and I became more interested with what she offered. I became more interested with what information she was able to share. And it got me to the point where I eventually got hooked. She offered some sort of program, something, I can't remember exactly what it was. I signed up for it and I got hooked. I literally got hooked. And because I got hooked, I began to work with her. All because of her messaging. Her message resonated with me. Her message was colorful. Her message was vivid. Her message was very detailed in terms of the things that I know I needed. And that's the same thing with what you provide. You have to have a clear, concise message that is vivid, that is very detailed, and showcases exactly why someone would want to work with you. All right. So you're building a clear, consistent message. Keep it consistent. Consistency is key to building more clientele, to building growth within your business, and it helps you to achieve the goals that you need for your business. So you got this whole service package, right? Got this whole package. You got everything. Now you have to have that message. You have to know those specific type of people that you're working with. Very, very niched down to understand who those people are. The second thing is you want to make sure you're doing your research. And research is key, it's crucial, it's necessary for the growth and sustainability of your business. And then you also want to make sure that you're clear, you have a clear, consistent message. Clear, consistent messaging is important, it's extremely important. So I have something for you. For those individuals, for those of you who are really, really trying to maximize in your coaching space, really, really trying to maximize even in your consultancy work, I want to work with you, all right? I have a winning content program. Now, this winning content program, it has ongoing applications. Applications are ongoing, meaning that you can join at any time and be a part of it. But the thing is, even though you can join at any time, the results happen once you start. So there's a difference. So if you want to wait, you're not going to get the results. But if you want to do it right now, start getting results as soon as you join and start joining in on sessions associated with it. Now you can schedule a breakthrough session by going to the link that I listed below, but I will also put it into the comments and we can work through it. But let me tell you what you get within this winning content program. We work through client understanding, right? We work through brand messaging. Some of you may struggle with creating a clear message. And I've worked with a number of people where it's like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be saying. I feel like I'm doing so many different things. I don't want to confuse the people. And there's ways that we can work through that. So we work through your brand message so that you continue to be a standout brand. We work through your target client assessment, understanding exactly who you're supposed to be working with, understanding exactly how you can really relay that information to them about what you do in a way that is conducive to their growth and conducive to your growth as well. Then we also look at research aspects. We look at research for what platforms you should really go on for your business, for that target group of people. We work through all those pieces. We look at analytics associated, understanding that the content that you create has some level of analytics associated with it. It also helps to generate more clients. So we look through lead generation and aspects about how you can really, really gain the clients that you need for your business, okay? And then we look at how to continue to maximize your income, okay? Income is important, but the main thing is building out that strong message, all right? So if you don't have a strong message, it's gonna be hard for you to continue to scale and grow that income that you need. So if you're interested, which I hope that you are, I would love for you to go and schedule some time so that we can talk through how we can continue to work together and as it relates to the winning content program. If you have any questions, once again, this is a Q&A. So I don't even know if anybody left a question because the way this live is set up with Zoom doesn't allow for me to see if anyone has left any questions. So I will go back through and answer any questions if any have been asked. But in the meantime, questions, concerns, things of that nature, reach out, list them below, and also look to schedule your appointment ASAP. Because as I mentioned, even though the applications are ongoing, the results happen when you start. So let's make this thing great. In the meantime, have an amazing rest of your day.